York's classic rock, Q1043.
Welcome to Maria's Mutts and Stuff. Now, this is a very exciting episode for me because it's a first. For the first time in our new studios that we moved into almost 2 years ago, I actually have a live in-studio guest with me. It's Dr. Andrew Torchia.
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here and making the time to, because I know you had to come into the studio physically. I'm excited. We're going to talk about the Heart of Chelsea Veterinary Care.
Yes.
Which is your employer, your place.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it. So when did it all begin?
The start. So we actually just celebrated our 25th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah. There's one of my veterinary role models, Dr. Mark Siebert.
Okay.
Started this place, and the way he talks about it, he was like, we were churning butter in the back 25 years ago. It was this tiny one exam room place with 3 employees, and one of them's actually still an employee, Marcia. She's a beautiful, amazing woman. And he started this just by himself and slowly grew it and focused on creating a culture that was important to him and that had a good set of core values.
Sure.
And he hired slowly, and I got to be a part of it as of 6 years ago.
So you've also, congratulations to you.
Thank
6
you.
years.
Very
That's a
lucky.
long time. No, but that's great. And I know that you're kind of local. You grew up in Pennsylvania, correct? With horses and dogs.
Very
right?
good. Yes,
Yes.
I
So
did.
is that when you decided that you wanted to be a vet?
That was part of it. It all comes back to mom, right? It's always the mother.
Of course.
Yes. So my mom knew it before I knew it. We grew up with animals, horses, dogs, rats, give rats a chance.
Sure.
Gerbils, hamsters, everything.
Wow, everything. That's
and
cool.
I absolutely love them.
Uh-huh.
And when I went into college, I did some art things and I did science at the same time. And she knew that I wanted to be a vet, so she actually called our vet clinic for me and got me this volunteer opportunity.
Wow.
And then that summer was just the best summer.
Oh,
of
I'm
my life.
sure.
They were amazing. They
So
taught me everything.
What did you do during? Was it like an internship or
It was
volunteering?
I was
You were just
18-year-old
volunteering. Oh, you were
volunteering,
18.
yes.
Okay.
But in the surgery room, actually.
What? Wow.
So I would help mostly carry the animals because I was an 18-year-old
But still,
boy.
were you watching surgeries?
And then I was in surgery from moment one. Wow. Which was a shock.
I'm
but
sure.
It was fun.
But I think also doing that was probably a good test for you to know that you had like the chops for it.
It was.
Does that make sense?
Yes. It's just a little different. It's
a little different, right.
When you're in it, you just don't get intimidated by it. When you're there and there's medicine there, there's confident people there.
Right.
And the guts and stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I might vomit. So I love animals, but I think if I saw a surgery, I would probably vomit, so that I wouldn't make a good vet. But I think the fact that you didn't and you have a good attitude about it. Does that make sense?
We
Like
actually kind of do a little talking to if someone's brand new, gonna watch for the first time.
Sure.
If you get lightheaded, it's okay.
Sure.
You just have to let us know.
Right,
We'll bring you to a chair. Everything's gonna be fine.
Right. Yeah. But of course, you're doing as they say, kind of like God's work in the sense because you're saving animals.
Oh my gosh, please.
So I mean,
Luckiest
nothing
profession
ever. Yeah.
I
I think about it. I mean, billions of people, not billions, but there were like millions of dogs and cats and pets. And I think when the doctor first started it 25 years ago, I mean, the pet industry over 25 years has exploded.
Yeah, I mean, it's really changed it. I even remember when I was a kid, we loved our pets.
Sure.
But there's just a little bit of a difference.
Yes.
And now, honestly, especially in New York, that dog is the child.
Of
this
course.
is a family member.
No, you're absolutely right.
We treat them as a family member.
Absolutely.
And as a veterinarian, how lucky is that?
Of course.
That I get to work with people that want to treat their pet as a family. New York kind of spoiled me. I'm afraid to go anywhere else.
Well, you can't go anywhere else. You have to stay here.
I'm here.
You're here
so
forever.
Excited. Yes, absolutely.
Which is so good. And we're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
And I'm sure all your clients are thrilled with you.
I'm just so lucky because I want a partnership.
Right.
I want to work with someone that really cares about their animal and is in it.
Sure.
And I want them to hold me responsible too. I want them to understand every single thing that we're doing with their pet.
Right. Of course.
So
and that's very important because a lot of times, I mean, I've had dogs probably the majority of my life. And I think there are times when you don't know what's going on. And, say if your pet needs surgery or something, and it just so happens like the person who's trying to explain to you, but they're not really explaining. So you kind of, you know?
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
Because it's so far removed from what the everyday person does.
Yes, of course.
And if you're in it a lot, you have to really keep yourself in check.
Yes.
And make sure that you're not missing that gap.
Correct.
And you can tell. When
Of
you
course.
look someone in the eyes and you talk
You can
about it, you can tell if
yes.
they understand or not. Especially if it's the first time, because I started in the emergency room.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes I'm talking about these surgeries that are in a life-threatening situation,
my
and
God,
I
of
just
course.
met you.
Yes.
And I have to talk to you about bringing your dog into surgery. So
Right.
you have to really finesse that and
No,
figure
it's
out how to
true.
make them comfortable.
Right, right. And a lot of times I know people don't ask questions because they don't. I mean, I think sometimes people don't ask questions for themselves at the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't.
Right? Yeah, but you should. You're a vet.
I know. when I'm at the doctor. Okay, whatever you say.
No, you have to ask questions.
Yeah.
Promise me you'll start
Yes,
asking
I'll
questions when you
absolutely
go.
say it. Thank you.
I feel like Maria told me I have to
Maria.
ask questions.
Can I record? Say it again. I'll record it. I'm gonna play it.
I will.
Just
Or
following
you're like, you'll
instructions.
text me and I'll be like, wait, you go to the doctor, ask this question.
Medical advocate all around.
Right.
Animal medical advocate, human medical advocate. Thank you.
No, but it's great that you're a vet because, you know, it's that old saying that you should love what you do and do what you love.
Mhm.
And it's so obvious that you love it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like I said, your clients, I know they love you.
That's
Like
so
I love you and I
nice.
just met you.
Thank
Seriously,
you. I
feel
love
like
you too.
I feel like I've known you forever.
Okay, same time next week.
Yes,
No,
let's do it.
It's just if you have the opportunity to work with someone that cares about their pets
Of
and you get to
course.
do that, just
Yeah.
don't let that go because
Yeah.
it's very lucky.
No, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do this. Take me down the road of what a typical day for you is.
Oh, typical day. Okay,
Typical
so,
day. I'm sure every day is different, obviously, because
Mhm.
you have emergencies, everything else. But what's like a typical day for you?
Yes. I am currently the medical director. So Heart of Chelsea has 3 locations.
Uh-huh.
And I'm currently the medical director in our Hell's Kitchen
Mhm.
location. And so a typical day, I'll get there and I get the whole group together.
Okay.
And I want everyone to wake up. So
Right.
there's some kind of question.
Okay.
Like, what can you cook better than anyone else? Or if you had to wear,
just like
get people talking.
like a
you know?
general question.
It's
Right.
good
Oh, like what
morning.
color
Let's
underwear. Right.
Let's
Okay.
wake up because I've
That's
been up
good.
since 5 a.m.
Sure.
So let's,
No, that makes
let's
sense.
do this.
Okay.
And so the whole group gets together and it's nice to just connect with each other.
Uh-huh.
Your family, you're a team.
Sure.
We look at what we're going to accomplish together for the day.
Right. And excuse me, how many people are on that team? About?
Right. So every doctor usually has about 3 or 4
Okay.
assistants that
Okay.
help them through. And that includes the client service reps, which are amazing. I couldn't exist without them.
Uh-huh.
At the front, down to, again, the assistants couldn't exist without them. And I'll take my little team and we'll look at our cases. And we want to, I don't want someone to walk in the door and us to walk up and say, Fluffy, we're ready. We want to
Right.
know why they're there. We
Right.
want them, address them by name,
Sure.
be ready for them.
Sure.
Know that, okay, unfortunately, their other pet passed away in that room. So we're going to make
Right.
sure that we bring them to this room because why,
Oh my God, that's
why
so
have
important.
that situation
Yes.
if you don't need to expose them to
Right.
that room? And customize it
Yeah.
to every single person and just try and show them that we actually care.
Sure.
'Cause
Which
they're
is
coming
why
to
it's Heart of
us.
Chelsea. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because no,
Mhm.
seriously, but a lot of vets aren't like that. A lot of, clinics so I think that is very unique and very special that you guys do that.
I think it honestly all
is.
started with Mark Siebert
Yeah.
and the team that he built around him.
Sure.
Because we have a set of core values and we abide by those core values. Everyone agrees to that from moment one.
Right.
And that includes being happy to serve, being empathetic, being professional, being
Right.
thorough, all of those things. And so that's the employees that work at Heart of Chelsea, that's all you're going to do. And
Yeah.
That's the only option. And
Sure.
if that's not a match for you, that's okay.
Right.
But
Right.
you have to kind of make that a priority.
Yeah. And the fact that you use the word empathy, and I think that's huge.
It's huge.
It's really huge because especially, with people, if they're a first time pet owner and they're panicking and you want to help, but you don't know what to do because you're not a vet. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I really think that's what makes you guys stand out. It's a very
thank
big
you.
difference.
Yeah.
So
Once you practice it and you're surrounded by a group of people that practices it,
Mhm.
the compassion fatigue that the veterinary field talks about a lot, I
right.
feel like it kind of dissipates from your career, which
Sure.
is really great.
Yeah.
Because you just dive into the empathy, lean into it. and
Yeah. No, but I
makes it
really
worth
think
it.
that's so, again, and you know better than I do, but for me, as just a civilian pet owner, it's just over years and years and just the big difference of
Mhm.
you meet a vet who has empathy and one who doesn't. And it's
Mhm.
like, dude, you should be in a university,
Yeah.
teaching from a book.
Do some research.
Do some research.
We need research.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. So, okay. So that's how your day starts. So you do your like
Mhm.
gung ho, get everybody psyched, and then you have like a list of
And then it's
appointments.
on.
Then it's on. And like everybody's all happy. They're awake.
Yeah. And the appointments, they just flow. We want to say yes to everything we can say yes to.
Of course.
So the appointments flow in. It's never what you expect it's going to be.
Right.
Like there's going to be something listed, but there's always two or three other things that may have just happened. And so we'll sit with the pet parent. We'll walk through the plan, make sure they're comfortable with everything because it is not cookie cutter. It needs to be customized. That is your dog. That is your cat.
Of course. Of
It's
course.
Essentially your decision. And work with the medical plan that works for them.
Right.
And we do that throughout the whole day. And I always try to call basically everyone that I saw the day before the next day. Like I'll be calling with your lab work. It's not an assistant that's calling. And I have the team that lets me do that. So I can be the vet. My team's there to do everything else.
See, that makes it special too. A lot of places don't do that. Oh, I'll call you with your blood work and tomorrow, and it's like, okay.
A week goes by.
By the way, So that's a very, I won't say it's unique, but it's also very special that you do that.
Yeah, it's what we strive for.
Yeah.
And even in the middle of the day, I've had situations where, this dog needs emergency surgery. So talk to my colleagues, which we're all so tightly connected, the veterinarians that work at I think I might have said 3 locations. We have 4 locations right now. The 4th one's we have 3 in Manhattan.
So let's name all your locations.
Okay, so we have the Hell's Kitchen location, the Chelsea location, which is the original, 25 years ago. One in Lower East Side, and then we have one in Park Slope as of a couple years ago.
Right.
And then upcoming that
is
I'm
a
very
new
excited
one.
for is in Prospect Heights.
Oh, nice.
So it's 6th and Dean Street. It's right behind the Barclays Center.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll be there. I'm locking myself in there. That's my 5-year plan.
So that's going to be yours.
Yeah, that's my 10-year plan.
Wow. Okay.
I'm ready.
And when do you think that place will be open?
That place is going to start taking appointments on October 14th.
Oh, wow. It's soon. It's now.
It's
coming. I don't know
coming.
why. I thought it was next year.
Yep. I literally came from there.
Wow.
And we have a grand opening on November 2nd.
Oh, cool.
From 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Oh, wow. So the public's invited to come and celebrate?
There's going to be everything. You can get a free caricature of your dog.
Oh, my God. I love those.
We're trying to get one of those, one of those 360 photo things where we'll play a song about New York and film you. Everything's free.
Oh, that is
Some
so
champagne.
cool. All right, I'm writing this down. It's November 2nd. I think I might have to just crash it and say hi.
If I saw you there, I would die.
Stop it.
I would die. Bring your dog. 1 dog, 2 dogs.
Well, I don't. Yeah, it's okay.
Ugh.
Yeah, my dog passed away in April.
God,
I know. It's okay. You didn't know. No, I know. It's okay. Because I talked about it a little bit on the air.
Okay.
I've mentioned it on this podcast here and there, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. But
there'll be lots of dogs there.
Which is great because honestly, my neighbors have dogs and I dog sit for them and I've offered to walk them. I'm just not ready yet. It's only 5 months.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, so, yeah. But it's okay. It's okay. But I'll come.
Great.
So that would be fun.
I would die.
No,
That would be
stop.
great.
You would die. It would
Please
be fun.
come.
No, it would be so much fun.
I'll get you a Heart of Chelsea hat or a Heart of Chelsea
Oh my God, I'd love that.
fanny pack.
Or something that I could wear around proudly.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So I have to say on your website, which I think is really cool, it's heartofchelsea.com, that you have a page for new pet parents.
Yes.
Oh my God, that I can't I haven't really seen that on other vet websites. I just think I just feel like I know so many people who know nothing about dogs but have dogs, or know nothing about cats and have cats, which is not anyone's fault, but it's kind of that old. I look at it and I know it's terrible, but hey, anybody can have a baby, anybody can have a pet, and I think. Just like we have to go for a license to drive, I really think we need to take classes to have kids and dogs and cats.
There's a lot.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's not that you don't want to do a good job. People just don't quite
They just don't get
realize.
it.
Yeah.
And
Even
especially, yes.
The nuances between species and even just breeds.
Right.
You just have to do your research. That's the one message that I would send to new pet parents is do your research.
Do your research.
Do your research.
Meaning if you have a dog, buy some books that say new dog owner books.
Exactly.
Or go to your website, heartofchelsea.com, and learn
Please
about the
come to
foods. The foods thing always gets me.
Yes. Careful for the fads. There are lots of fad diets that come out, and then 3 years go by and we find out, oh no, that's bad for them.
Yeah.
So watch out for the fad diets.
Yeah.
Our first appointment at Heart of Chelsea, when you get a new puppy or a new kitten, someone sits down with you for a half an hour one-on-one, or as long as you need one-on-one, because you're setting yourself up for success for literally years.
Of course.
So we'll sit down, and we'll just start up. Okay, you have a dog. They have
Yes.
to eat this many times.
Right.
And then it gets vaccines and blood work and
Right,
things you can do
right.
and what options you have and what's your lifestyle like, because we're going to sync
Sure.
what we do with your pet to your lifestyle.
Of course.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's really good that you do that because there are so many people. And I mean, and I know, and people who I know, and they're, wait, what do you mean you can't give a dog onions? And I'm like, what?
Yes, good.
You
I mean,
know?
not a lot of people
Like,
know
what?
the onions one.
Oh, yeah.
People know grapes. Usually
People know grapes,
Usually.
but they don't know onions. They don't know garlic. They don't know
Garlic,
chocolate.
chocolate.
It's like, oh my God, there's so many different things you should be first.
Mhm.
Well, whatever. I mean, and then it's like the old school people like, oh, I grew up with dogs and we always gave table foods. Yeah, well, that was great, but that was like
Yep.
80 years ago.
Right.
But still,
Doesn't make you a little curious, and he lived to be 29 years old.
Right, exactly. You're like, yeah, okay.
Well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, I do love that you have that because I think, and here's a question. So just because I should know more about cats, and I have interviewed many people. I'm starting to up my cat because I just want to be an equal opportunist,
Lovely.
right? The foods that dogs shouldn't have that we know, like the list. Is it the same for cats?
It's almost the same.
It's almost the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've really never seen a cat try to eat a grape.
Right.
But otherwise, basically, we don't know why grapes, and we're working on some research. Not me, but the vet world is working on why grapes are toxic. But for the most part, yes.
Yeah.
And cats actually need a little bit more protein. You might have guessed, but they need a little bit more protein, sort of amino acids.
Yes, that I've learned.
Than
Yes.
dogs, so they can't live off of dog food.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But most of the things that are toxic to cats, most of the things that are toxic to dogs are toxic to cats.
Toxic. Okay.
Flowers.
Yes.
Especially with the holidays that happen.
Oh, right.
Lilies
That's right. Mm-hmm.
are lethal.
Yeah.
Lethal. I've seen a cat pass away from lily pollen on its face. Mhm.
Oh, that's
Ingesting lily pollen.
terrible.
And I was in the ER, so I've seen it a lot.
Oh my God.
Mhm. One little petal from a lily.
Really?
Mhm.
So just say someone right now has a lily at home and doesn't realize it. What is a symptom they can look for? Like they should look for,
Great
say.
question. It
Oh,
usually
thanks.
starts with stomach upset.
Okay.
Most toxicities start with stomach upset when it comes to things they ingest.
Okay.
But not eating, because cats are built for survival.
Sure.
They will hide everything
Yes.
they can hide for as long as they can.
Right. Right.
So skipping a meal, skipping 2 meals, don't wait on that. 'Cause
Okay.
You don't know that they live for that. They live
Right.
to eat.
Right.
So,
just like we do and dogs do.
right,
Yes.
Just cover your bases. Come on in.
Yes.
Come on into Heart of Chelsea.
Right.
Come on in and just check a little blood work, because they can
Yeah.
have some other issues with their body. If they're drinking and peeing more than you'd expect, huge. That's
Okay.
huge. Look out for that.
Sure.
Mhm.
So speaking of that, it's funny that you just brought up about drinking and peeing more. So I actually had an email from a note. I'm sorry, it was like a Facebook message. His name is Jeffrey. He's in Ohio. He listens. He's a listener, and he also listens to the podcast. And he actually wrote me a note over the summer, and it was a horrible story, and I'm sure you've heard of it. And he said, could you please, maybe it's something to bring up. And I thought, all right, I have Andrew here. I'm going to bring it up.
Let's do it.
So what happened was he had a 12-year-old dog, and they went on vacation, and the dog was, I guess, in a daycare or with a dog sitter. Anyway, the dog wound up whatever happened to it, and it wound up that the dog had diabetes, and the dog died while they were on vacation. And he said, I think it was a 12-year-old dog, and he was drinking a lot, but he said he always drank a lot.
Mhm.
And he said, maybe you want to talk about that because, like, would you know your dog has diabetes?
It's a tough one. A lot of
Yeah.
times it's a big surprise for people
Yeah.
when they find out. Some of the very first signs that you can identify is weight loss.
Oh,
So
okay.
what we do at
Mhm.
Heart of Chelsea is we say, if you want to pop in to weigh your dog, there's no cost for that, of course. Just come in, step on the scale.
Right.
I mean, I like for people to just walk in and let us give them a treat, so they're
Right,
happy
right.
to be there.
Sure.
So you can even just weigh them regularly. And that's
Okay.
free, that's easy.
Yeah.
And if they have unexpected weight loss when you've been feeding the exact same thing,
Right.
that would be it. It's hard outside of the city. A lot of people, with what I did growing up in Pennsylvania, you
Mhm.
open the back door
Sure.
and they go and pee. You're not
Right.
watching
So
them
you
pee.
don't know exactly.
Exactly. But weight loss is big for diabetes. Of course, I'm really a huge advocate for preventative care.
Of course.
So
Right.
when you're a little bit on the younger side, blood work once a year. A little
Yeah.
bit on the older side, they age more rapidly
Of
than
course.
us. So
Yeah.
we do blood work twice a year if we can. But there's still some subtle things you can pick up when you're paying attention that
Yeah.
you're not performing blood work twice a year.
So
But-
that would be like the main
Mhm.
thing. Like say diabetes it's
Yeah.
weight loss.
Weight loss is usually one of the first things that you'll see. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. See, and I would never know that. I would never know. I don't think people would know that. I mean, even though like people become diabetic, but I guess but they get this. Dogs and cats get the same diseases and illnesses we do, but it's just something that we don't really think about.
Almost the exact same, and that comes down to people don't understand what's going on
Right.
in the medical world. Like,
Sure.
the way I explain diabetes is that your body's not producing insulin,
Mhm.
and people know that much, and that's usually about where it ends.
Right.
Or your body's not recognizing the insulin that it produces.
Right.
So for diabetes, all of your sugar's in your blood, just in your blood. You need insulin to grab that sugar out of the blood and push it into the cells, so
Right.
the cells have
Right.
energy.
Right.
And if that mechanism of pushing sugar from the blood into the cells is interrupted, then the cells are dying. So they actually
Okay.
call diabetes starvation in the face of energy. Because
Interesting.
there's sugar everywhere, all
Oh,
over
that
your
makes
body,
sense.
and the cells see it right across their
Right.
little cell walls, but they
Right,
can't
right.
get it. Yeah. So it's just understand the
Ah.
concepts of
Oh my
it.
goodness, you broke it down so simply. That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, so of course, it could get a little tricky after
Right,
that,
right,
but that's the
but-
concept.
But that's good.
Mhm.
I don't know. You just explained something that I should know, and I think most people who are listening to this probably don't know.
Well, come on down. Let's talk about another one.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me another. Well, what's another? Okay. I had a dog, not this current one. My last dog had kidney failure, and he wasn't. He died at 4 of kidney failure. He was a,
At
he
4?
was at 4. Yeah, it was awful.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And not to be Debbie Downer, because that's the second time I mentioned not having a dead dog, and
That's
not to
okay.
be funny.
Part
I'm
of
just
life.
saying, but it's part of life, exactly. But he was 90 pounds. I think he was a boxer bulldog.
Wow.
I think he might have had Mastiff in him. He was a giant dog, but he
Mhm.
always drank a lot of water,
Mm-hmm.
even when he was a puppy. And I never thought about it because he was a big boy. His name was Carmine, after Carmine the Big Ragu from Laverne and Shirley,
Mm-hmm.
a very old TV show.
I know
But
Laverne
anyway,
and Shirley.
yes,
Yeah.
from Laverne and Shirley, right. But anyway, and he died at 4. And when he was diagnosed, he lasted a week, and they're like, oh, like they thought it was another dog's blood work. It was whatever. It was a big mix up, but it wasn't at all. It was because he was dying, but he had no symptoms except he drank a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
So
So that one's tough. That would have been a
was
really
a tough
one
one,
to see
right?
coming.
Yeah.
We are in the animal, sorry to say it, but in the animal world, there's not a ton you can do about that
I know.
situation. That was a really rare one.
yeah,
We are working on kidney transplants, which I know
Wow.
sounds wild.
it is wild.
They're doing it in cats and with
Wow.
success. And 'cause
Wow.
cats really deal with some kidney stuff. Actually, that's a very good reason to get insurance, by the way.
Yes.
Insurance is paramount. And
Yes.
right now it's in its prime. If you get a
Yeah.
good insurance plan, it covers everything.
That is
Again,
very smart.
As someone that came from the ER, can be a matter
Yeah.
of life or death.
I'm sure, because it's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Thousands,
Like
yeah.
honestly, because he was rescued, because I always rescue dogs.
Amazing.
Because it would be terrible if I bought dogs and I would do this podcast. Adopt, don't shop, except for me. Like what? No, but anyway, and he came from the shelter with insurance. And when I adopted him, he had a bit of a cold and it became pneumonia. So when I tried to get it, and they're like,
Like a
oh, he had a
bulldog.
pre-existing condition. And I'm like, no insurance company, he didn't. It was a cold and it became pneumonia and whatever.
Mhm. That's also not chronic.
Yeah.
That's a
whatever.
moment.
But it was like,
yeah.
this was also, this was like 2008. So it was a long time ago,
Mhm.
and things have come very far since then. Right? Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Things have.
Oh my God, that was like 16 years ago. Yes.
Things have really come far.
Yeah,
I've
far.
just kind of caught where it was really rapidly changing. It
Yes.
started in the vet field, right?
Yes.
Where it was really rapidly changing. But for identifying the kidney disease, the drinking and peeing for sure, weight loss again,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
and you just got hit with a rare situation.
I know.
I'm
it was just,
sorry.
yeah, but thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But, and it is, and like you said, you're right. It's the course of life.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I'm
It
not dismissing it or discounting it, but,
And
I
I-
didn't smile or have a good time for many months because it took
Mhm.
me a long time. But
Well, I bet that was a great 4 years.
yeah, he was great.
I always say that because I've been faced with that situation a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said it was worth it, right?
Yes.
It's terrible.
Oh, he was a great
but
dog.
It was
yes.
worth it.
Yes.
Yeah, we see them as our children. They are
Of
our
course.
children.
He was. Yeah. Yeah.
And an odd dynamic because you're not really meant to outlive your children. So then you have this child that you know you're going to outlive.
Yes.
In most situations. And you do.
And you do.
But they were worth it.
Always worth it, no matter what. Yes. Exactly. So speaking of that, and not to be on the death side, but it's something that, and tell me if this is true, because I read an article, I don't know, a few months ago, and it was written by a vet, and the vet said, like you said, we're going to live longer. And that's the one thing about our animals. They don't live as long as we do. And we all always have to deal with making the decision if they don't die on their own. I mean, I was very lucky. My last 3 dogs all died in my apartment in their sleep. Like, hello, thank you, God. Okay. Yeah. Lucky me. I don't know why it happened, but I was grateful for that. And the vet said that when people come in, and he said, and it's a high number, I don't know if it was like 75 or 80% of the people who come in and it's time to put the animal out of its pain, they leave the room. And he said that's the one time you should be there because the pet is looking for you, because it's always looked at you and you've always been its person. And now, is that true?
Before it happens?
Yeah.
It does happen sometimes. And of course, I'm not going to pass any judgments because I don't know what they've been through or what's going to happen for them. But there's also little ways around it too that I've discovered because I've had to be there a lot for that.
Of course.
And there are things we can give where the person's not there for the actual exact moment, but the pet is already asleep.
Right. Okay.
And so work with your vet and talk about options. Because there's options for everything. If you're faced with a situation you don't know what to do, get more information.
Right. No, that's true. So I just think people should be there.
I would love for that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it's also easier. I mean, I know it's difficult for you, for any vet, for you to be there. Yeah. And you have to do it. But I just feel like it's horrible, but life isn't always easy, and you need to be with your pet from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, I encourage people to.
Yeah.
And I actually have never had anyone, maybe everyone should hear this. I've never had a single person stay and regret staying.
Oh, see, very good. Thank you for saying that.
From that experience.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, but, life is difficult.
And there's some closure afterwards.
Well, yes.
You really have some closure. And then there's that moment afterwards where they're sitting with their pet and you just need silence. And you just say, I'll just stand there in silence. Right. For as long as they need.
Of course.
And that moment, it's an honor to be a part of that.
Right. Honestly. Yeah, I'm sure it is. And I'm sure it helps people that you're there to give them strength too. Because they're not alone.
Honor. It's an honor to be in that position.
Yeah. And I really do believe in this. And now you can be like, okay, Maria, we're done. You're a kook. But I think that animals, just like people, give you signs. After.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you for saying that.
Absolutely.
Because
100%.
Yes, because my last dog, Fredo, I mean, and it still happens once in a while, but I definitely feel his presence. And I haven't, talked to what am I thinking? A medium, animal medium, or why am I saying psychiatrist? I'm not thinking of psychiatrist. What's wrong with me?
I don't know. Maybe there's some crossover. Maybe it's a psychiatrist that's also a medium.
No, it's an animal psychic. That's the word. Psychic. Big difference.
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. I really am. But anyway, but yeah, but you believe in that too.
Absolutely.
Oh,
100%
awesome.
Believe in that. I have had so many, I've even experienced it where people have had pets and they come back with another pet that just has this quirky quality of their previous pet that I've literally never seen anywhere else. And it's not some kind of nurture situation. Like this pet likes to sit in that corner when it walks in, and the owner didn't have it do that, and their previous dog did that. And there's just signs like that.
That's so cool.
There's some kind they just have a different approach to the life cycle.
Sure.
Like if one pet's present when we have to say goodbye to another, the animals handle it.
Well, they're much better at it than people
are.
They are. Yeah. It's true. It's like make like a dog.
They say thanks. And
yeah. They always say that you should live your life like a dog. Nice. Don't let things bother you. Live in the present. Because too many people live with stuff from the past and, that was yesterday. Move forward. And dogs don't live like that, right? They live in the present.
Exactly. Only place you can go is forward.
That's true. That's true. So, okay. So let's talk about all the social media that Heart of Chelsea has.
It's fun.
It is fun.
We have fun. I'm not the one doing the fun because
Okay.
I'm so focused.
Well,
but
yeah,
I
but
love
you-
that the fun
yes.
exists
Yes.
outside of it. I've
Yes.
had a couple moments where it's just there's a couple really great moments, like after delivering puppies.
I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
You have to just be there for delivered puppies.
I don't
at
think I've
some
never
point.
I've never seen that.
They're so cute.
I'm sure.
They don't come out like little potatoes. They
No,
come
they
out
go-
like really, really cute puppies.
Oh, really?
It's as good
That's
as
so
you
funny.
expect. Yes.
And it's true that Dalmatians aren't born with spots,
They
right?
aren't.
Is that
Yeah,
true?
Nice work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. And I also think it's cool that labs are, it doesn't matter, like black labs can have brown labs. Is that
Yes,
true too?
correct.
Like all different
Mhm.
colors. Like
Yeah,
that makes
'cause
no sense
Who knows
to
what
me.
was going on with the genes before?
Yeah.
Recessive versus
That's
dominant
so
genes.
cool.
So yes, that can happen.
That's really cool.
But the social media,
Yes.
Heart of Chelsea has just this group of fun, younger than me individuals that
Mhm.
I'm lucky to be around, and they find these moments, especially when the people are ready, the pet parents are ready and into it. We have some really cool animals walking in. Like
Oh,
the
sure.
fashion
Oh, yes.
is amazing.
Oh, yes. I mean, do you have people who always, like clients who just always dress up their dogs, even though it's not Halloween?
Lots of matching.
Oh, my God. I
Lots
love
of
that.
owner matches.
Matching?
pet.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
Come in,
great.
Louis Vuitton on one side, Louis Vuitton on the
Really?
other. Love it. I
Wow.
die for it.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Fake ostrich feather.
Oh, my
boa.
goodness.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's lovely. And they show up for it. I have this one woman that has a pug, and she
Mhm.
comes in with a different pug outfit or bag or something.
Oh
She
my God.
absolutely loves little Oliver.
Oh, my God.
Different pugs, paraphernalia every time.
Oh, my God.
She's
I
an
had
angel.
a pug. That's
Yeah.
adorable. I love pugs.
Mhm.
There's something about dressing up a pug.
Something.
There's just, I wouldn't do it, but when people do it, it just makes me laugh
Yeah.
because they're so kind of funny looking, even though they're
Absolutely.
adorable. And then
Yep.
you see them with costumes, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
It's
And they
great.
always look disgruntled,
they
no matter
do.
what.
Right, that face.
Mhm.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's great. So, okay, so for people who are listening, they can follow on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. All of that is Heart of Chelsea NYC.
Yes, Heart of Chelsea.
Heart of Chelsea. And your website is heartofchelsea.com.
Mm-hmm. Go on there. There's opportunities to book your appointments.
Mhm.
There's lots of new pet parent information. There's a really great site that helps you manage insurance.
Mhm.
We don't work with any insurance companies,
Mhm.
but we help our clients figure out what insurance works for them.
Right.
There's this brilliant woman named Jen Abatino that can help you. And we just want to set you up for success.
Yeah.
And book an appointment.
And book an
Come
appointment.
to Prospect Heights.
I know. It's so exciting. So November 2nd is the big grand opening.
Grand opening.
So excited. I'm going to put it in my book, in my phone. So
would
I
love
wanna
that.
come.
I'm
I
so
do.
just so excited for Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I'm
Yes.
coming.
Yes.
I already live there, but I'm coming.
Oh, that's excellent.
Mention iHeartRadio. You'll have your first exam for free.
Oh, that's very sweet. Look at you.
Mhm.
Well, this is very exciting. So, should we leave this with one comment, one pearl of wisdom from you, even though I know you have many pearls because you are very wise. No, seriously, I'm not being funny.
Thank
You
you.
really
That's
are.
really
No, you
nice.
are. You're a vet. You're so smart. You're so personable. If you had to give one piece of advice to anyone who owns a pet, a dog, a cat, a bird, a reptile, if there's
Okay.
one thing, is there one thing?
I can think of one thing. Yes.
Okay.
So
okay. I knew you could.
across the board,
Yes.
the piece of advice is
Uh-huh.
you can do it.
Okay.
And you are doing it. People just feel like they're not doing a good job with their pets sometimes.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
doing great.
Yeah. Well, that's,
And
yeah.
do your research and look things up. Google things. That's fine.
Sure.
I love when people Google things and bring it to me,
Uh-huh.
and we can learn together
Right.
and try to keep an open mind together about what to do. But you can do it. Just have a pet, care for them. You're
Uh-huh.
gonna save a life. Rescue a pet.
That's
and
perfect.
It's a great experience. You
It's-
won't regret it.
It is. That's a great piece of advice. He did it. I knew he would. That was
Thank you.
perfect. It's
Thank you.
perfect. So, Dr. Andrew Torchia, thank you so much for coming in here, for talking with all of us and giving all of your knowledge and wisdom. And you have to come back again.
Thank you. I would love to.
Yeah.
It's been an honor.
Please. Honor for me.
Thanks.
Heartofchelsea.com.
Come on down.
Come on down. See you November 2nd.
Great.
Yay.
Yay.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.